itself. Okay, so x of t in general is defined as summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity ak g of t minus ktb. I've already mentioned what is ak. Ak value, if I'm using polar nrz, then ak value will be equal to plus 1 for symbol 1 and it will be equal to minus a for symbol 0. Okay, so this is what your AK value, and this G of t is nothing but the pulse shaping signal. Okay, pulse shaping signal, as I've already mentioned, your G of t will be like this, G of t 0 to TB. Okay, 0 to TB. This is how the pulse shaping signal will be. Okay, so if I want to represent the complete digital input, whatever I'm getting, I have to just shift this and multiply with AK so that I'll get the output signal. Okay, so this is your x of t. Okay, so let me just find x of f for this and keep it. Okay, otherwise I'll find it later, no need to worry now. Okay, fine. So x of t, then after x of t is passed through the transmitting filter. Okay, so transmitting filter, it is t of t. Okay, now what I need to do, I need to find z of t. Okay, see, what is the final aim here? I have to find y of t equation. So if I want to find the y of t equations, I need to check what will be the output here. Okay, because the output of each block will depend on its input. Okay, so x of t is the input to this transmitting filter, so I'll get z of t. Z of t is input to hc of t, I'll get r of t. R of t is input to this hr of t, so I'll get y of t. Okay, so first let me get z of t. So z of t is given by, I have already mentioned equations related to this, but now with respect to the ISI, I'm just calculating the equations. So z of t is nothing but x of t convolution with the x of t is passed through the transmitting filter. The transmitting filter impulse function is ht of t. Okay, so convolution of x of t with ht of t will give me z of t. Okay, so this can be represented as x of t. X of t is nothing but, I have x of t equation as summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity ak g of t minus ktb. This will get convolved with ht of t. Okay, when this shifted version gets convolved with this function ht of t, what happens again? It will give me one more signal. Okay, let me name that signal as P1 of t, but here there is a phase shift, so here also here there is some shift in the time domain, so the same shift will happen with this P1 of t also. Like P1 of t is like some random signal which I am denoting with P1 of t. Okay, when you convolve these two, I'll get some signal, right? So that I'm denoting with P1 of t minus ktb. You can write anything, but I am just following some standard book where they have written in this way. Okay, so P1 of t minus ktb. Okay, and it may also have some scaling factor. Okay, so this entire equation gt of t minus ktb convolution with ht of t, it will give me mu1 p1 of t minus ktb. Okay, so where mu1 is nothing but some scaling factor, some amplitude. Okay, amplitude of this pulse. Okay, what is that mu1 also I don't know. What is that p1 of t minus ktb also I don't know. Okay, so your z of t will be nothing but summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity ak. Well, this is some constant value, so I'm not when I'm convolving, I'm not involving this factor. Okay, so ak into, in place of this complete thing, I will be able to write as p1 mu1 p1 t minus ktb. Okay, this is z of t. And now again, if you observe the block diagram, z of t signal is passing through the channel. Okay, here channel will have the same additive white Gaussian noise. Okay, w of t will be there, whose mean will be equal to 0. Mean will be, okay, mean I'll write as mean only. Mean will be equal to 0. See, this mu is just the scaling factor. It is not the mean value. Okay, this mu is just the mean scaling factor. Okay, not the average value. Okay, so the channel may consist of additive white Gaussian noise with mean is equal to 0 and variance is equal to n naught by 2, and even power spectral density will be equal to n naught by 2. But for time being, I'm not considering the effect of noise. Okay, so that is how I'm deriving the equation. Okay, so okay, fine. So z of t is given as an input to the channel. Okay, z of t is here. I have z of t. This z of t is given as input to the channel history of t. So that my output from this filter is nothing but r of t. Okay, since I have already mentioned that it is an LTI system. If you want to get r of t, you need to convolve input with the system function. Okay, so z of t into hc of t. Okay, again replace z of t with this equation. So summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity ak mu1 p1 of t minus ktb convolution with hc of t. hc of t. Okay, again if you observe, this signal is getting convolved with this ht of t. Okay, so again this will lead to, and I may have some scaling factor, and I may get some function. Okay, some function p2 of t, but since there is a shifted, it is a shifted version, this signal will also be shifted version. Okay, so instead of this entire thing, I'll be able to write mu2 p2 t minus ktb. Okay, so now r of t will be nothing but, see again, p2 of t is the name given by me. Okay, it is not that this gives me some significance, nothing like that. It is some x function, some function. Okay, I'm just naming it with p, that's it. Okay, so this is equal to, I will be able to write a summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity ak mu1 mu2. In place of this, I'll write as mu2 p2 of t minus ktb. Okay, then again come back to the block diagram. Okay, so again this r of t is passing through the receiving filter, and receiving filter with the system function as hr of t. Okay, so the output is nothing but y of t. Okay, now I need to find what is this output. Okay, so again since it is a LTI system, the filter is the LTI system, or whatever input you are giving, that will get convolved with the system function, and I'll get y of t. Okay, so y of t is nothing but y of t is nothing but r of t convolution with receiving filter transfer function, not transfer function, it is impulse function, hr of t. Okay, now again r of t, in place of r of t I have this function, and let me write as summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity ak mu1 mu2 p2 t minus ktb convolution with hr of t. Okay, so again when you convolve these two, I'll get some function. Let me name this function as, instead of p3 I'll just write as p. Okay, why, you may ask me a question, ma'am, for p1 p2 like that you have written, and why you're writing it as p. Okay, so I just want to follow the textbook. So here they made this entire thing as p only. So p of t minus ktb with some scaling function. So here y of t will be nothing but summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity ak mu1 mu2. Okay, this is mu3. Okay, mu3. In place of this, I'll write as p of t minus ktb. Okay, so now let this entire thing I'll replace with mu. Okay, replace with mu. Okay, so here y of t will be nothing but summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity ak into mu into p of t minus ktb. This is the equation, output equation I've got. Output of your filter. Okay, your filter output, receiving filter output is nothing but this one. Okay, and let me just go back. Where is that? So this filter output I've got. One second. Okay, so the output of the receiving filter is nothing but y of t. So I've got equation for y of t. So this is a equation which is representing your y of t signal. Okay, so now if you observe, this mu is nothing but the scaling, some scaling factor. Okay, scaling factor in the sense it is some constant value. Okay, generally we call it as proportional constant, like that. Okay, so this mu is some scaling factor. Okay, and this if you observe that y of t is anyway the a, k and mu are some constant values, and the p of t minus ktb. If you observe this, okay, your y of t is purely depending on this function p of t minus ktb, and it is nothing but the it will again be nothing but the pulse only, but it will see this y of t is depending on this pulse. Okay, so you need to properly take this pulse, this p of t should be designed properly so that your output will be fine. Okay, why output will be fine in the sense you'll be able to estimate the correct output. Okay, now let me consider I want to get the second bit or third bit or fourth bit, like that. Okay, I'm just telling you some example, like let me consider that I want second bit. Okay, so if I want second bit, what I need to do, I need to place k value as 2. Okay, let me consider I want third bit, so I need to make k value as 3. And if I want fourth bit, I need to take k value as 4, like that. Okay, so in general, let me assume that I want to find out what will be my ith symbol. Okay, what will be my ith symbol. Okay, so here what I need to do, I need to find my ith symbol. Okay, if I want to find my ith symbol, I need to substitute t is equal to k is nothing but I need to substitute k is equal to I. Okay, I need to substitute k is equal to I, and now if I want to take the correct decision, then I need to sample it at y is equal to ITB. So let me just see here. I need to take the decision in favor of ith symbol. Okay, so before going to that, I need to sample y of t. Okay, y of t is sampled at t is equal to ITB. Okay, it means that, see, let me consider I'm getting some signal like this. Okay, some signal I've got like this. Okay, now what I need to do, I need to sample at every every ITB in the sense, let me consider this is my I values can range from 0 to infinite, or minus infinity to plus infinite. Anyway, I've just taken only the positive single-sided sinusoidal signal. Okay, so this is what my signal. So what I need to do, I need to sample it at y is equal, at t is equal to ITB. This is nothing but the t line. T is equal to ITB in the sense I need to sample at t is equal to TB, 2TB, 3TB, like that. Okay, so it means that I need to take only that value. This is my TB. This is my 2TB. This is my 3TB value. This is my 4TB value, like that. Like that I need to take. So my output of this sampler will be only this one. This is my output of this sampler. Okay, from this I need to get the ith symbol. Okay, so based on this y of ITB value, I'll be able to identify that will be compared with this threshold value, and it will take the decision. Okay, so let me just go back and sample this y of t. Okay, sample this y of t. Okay, let me first sample the signal. So at t is equal to ITB, I need to sample the signal. Hope you people are following.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, anybody is getting any doubts, please let me know. Okay, but try to understand the basic concepts properly. Okay, so at t is equal to ITB, I have to sample this signal. So I will have as y of ITB. Y of ITB is equal to summation, wherever I have t, I'll replace with ITB. Summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity, ak into mu. Anyway, these are constants. P of t, in place of t, I'll replace it with ITB. ITB minus KTB. Okay, so again rearrange the capital TB. Capital TB. Okay, y of ITB is equal to summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity, ak into mu P of I minus k TB. I minus k into TB. This is my y of ITB signal. Okay, so this is my sample version. Now what I need to do, I need to get the signal when it is ith symbol, in the sense like mu, see k value ranges from minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay, so this k can be either 1 or -1 or -2 or 2, like that. So any value it can be, right? So now I'm just assuming that I want to find out ith symbol. So how will you find ith symbol? Y of ITB. Okay, so what we'll do, you'll be writing it as A1 mu P of I minus 1 into TB as first symbol, plus A2 into mu P of I minus 2 into TB, like that you'll write for everything. Okay, now instead of writing all this, what I'll do, I just want the ith symbol. So what I'll do, I'll just take, I'll substitute k is equal to I in this and I'll write the equation as, let me first write the equation, then you can, I'll explain you. Yeah, see, I'm substituting k is equal to I now, okay, because I want ith symbol. Okay, so this k corresponds to the symbols. Okay, so I want ith symbol. So since I want ith symbol, I'm replacing k with I. Okay, so ak mu p into I minus k. K is nothing but I into TB plus summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay, and here k value is equal to I is already considered. So here k will not be equal to I into ak mu p of I minus k into TB. Anybody have doubts here? Please ask me. Anybody have doubts here? Please ask me. Are you following? Are you following, ma? I'll explain it once again. Okay, see, here I'll just explain once again from y of t. Okay, y of t is this signal I've got. Okay, so now what I need to do, I need to sample the signal ITB, because my output decision will be taken based on this ith symbol, y of ITB. Based on this, it will take the decision. Okay, so I need y of ITB. So in order to get y of ITB, what I'm doing, I'm replacing t with ITB. Okay, now I've substituted t is equal to ITB. Okay, and then I've just rearranged the terms. This is what I've got. Okay, now see the decision device, what it has to do, it has to compare this y of ITB with the threshold value. And here now based on this value, it will either take a decision either with respect to 0 or with respect to 1. Okay, now let me consider that I want some particular symbol. Okay, so k is equal to 1 or k is equal to 4 or k is equal to 50, something like that I want. Okay, but instead of writing it as k is equal to 1, k is equal to 2, like that, what I'm doing, I'm generalizing it as I want k ith bit. Okay, when I want ith bit, I am replacing this k in this equation, k is equal to I. So k is equal to I have replaced. Okay, so ai mu p of I minus I TB. Okay, so first initially I replaced k with I. Okay, fine. But what happens to the remaining terms? I don't know. So let me just write it again. So plus summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity, and here I am writing it as k not equal to k not equal to I. The reason for writing this is because I have already taken k is equal to I. This is nothing but a k is equal to I equation. So that is the reason in this I will have all other terms except k not equal to k equal to I. Except that I'll have all other terms. So that is the reason I've represented k not equal to I. Apart from I, it can be anything remaining. Okay, so ak mu of pm, the same equation I've represented again. So let me just rewrite this again. Y of ITB is equal to ai into mu p of I minus I, it is 0 into TB, it is 0 only. Okay, so p of 0 plus I'll have summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity, and k not equal to I because I have already considered k is equal to I into ak mu times of p I minus k into TB. Okay, so normalized value in the sense like if I have 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9 like this, what we'll do normalization. Can anybody tell me how will you do the normalization of this sequence? Normalization. Okay, normalization in the sense what we'll do, we'll take the highest value in that and divide all the values with that highest value. That is nothing but the normalization. Okay, so here also I'm assuming that when you normalize this P of 0, I'm getting the normalized value as 1. Okay, so let me consider let P of 0 is equal to 1. Okay, when P of 0 will be equal to 1, here Y of ITB will be equal to AI into mu. P of 0 value is 1 plus summation k is equal to, this is the normalized value. Okay, normalized value. Okay, so k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity and k not equal to I and into ak into mu of P of I minus k into TP. Okay, so if you just observe, okay, if you just observe, this is a symbol which I need. AI indicates the ith bit amplitude. See here where it is. AK I have represented it as plus A minus A. Okay, so now AI can be either plus A or minus A based on your threshold value. Okay, so here what is this? This AI corresponds to the ith bit. Okay, AI corresponds to the ith bit. Okay, what about this all? These all corresponds to the remaining bits. Okay, remaining bits in the sense k is equal to either it is 0 or plus or minus 1 plus or minus 2 so on, but k not equal to I, except this this k value can be anything. Okay, so if you just observe, this is the additional term. Okay, this is the additional term and this is nothing but the ISI component. Okay, inter-symbol interference, because along with the desired symbol, okay, what is my desired symbol? Ith symbol is the desired symbol. Along with the desired symbol, I have the other symbols, the values pertaining to the other symbol as well. Okay, so this is nothing but the inter-symbol interference. Inter-symbol interference. Inter-symbol interference, ISI. This is your ISI and this is the desired signal. Desired signal. Okay, so I've got the output with the desired signal as well as the inter-symbol interference. So you may ask me a question, ma'am, how we are saying it is inter-symbol interference? Because this k corresponds to other values only, right? Other symbol values only. Okay, so this k corresponds to the other symbol values. That is the reason this entire term is nothing but the energy corresponding to the other symbols. Okay, which is nothing but the inter-symbol interference, ISI. Okay, so this is the final equation which you need to derive. Okay, now I've got this. So if I want to get only the desired signal, what should be this value? This value should be equal to 0. Okay, so you need to make ISI is equal to 0. If you make ISI is equal to 0, then if ISI is equal to 0, here Y of ITB will be nothing but AI into mu. Okay, mu is some scaling factor. Okay, that's all. Okay, scaling factor in the sense some constant value. Okay, that is what it means. Okay, so if you make this ISI is equal to 0, then you'll have the desired symbol. Okay, so desired symbol is nothing but AI into mu. Okay, so this is all related to the derivation. I'll write the question here. You can just, if you want, you can note it down at the starting point only. I'll share you this notes today. Okay. So the question here will be like, what is ISI? What is ISI? Obtain or develop. Okay, you may even see the word develop. Develop in the sense you need to obtain. Okay, so obtain the expression of output of filter with ISI. For this, you need to explain all this derivation until the last step, until here. Okay. Hope this is clear to all of you. Hope this is clear to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody has any doubts until here, please let me know. Anybody have any doubt? Prakruti? Prakruti? Prakruti?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this derivation
Yes.
clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody want me to repeat again, because this is what the last, in the sense, like until here only I'm giving it for the exam. Okay, until here only I'm giving it for the exam. So I'll not go further. Let me just stop here and like we'll see rest of the part in the next class. So anybody have doubts until here, please let me know. Anybody want me to repeat?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, can you revise only the test portions, ma'am?
Complete test portions.
Yes, ma'am. Only revision, ma'am.
I will start doing it, but I don't know how far we'll be able to. Okay, because it's already 10:40, 10:34. So let me just do that. So as I mentioned, for 6th B students, 6th B students, the syllabus is until here. 4th module until here. Okay, 4th module until what? What?
Fourth module or third module? Ma'am?
4th module. This is 4th module, no? We have already finished 1, 2, 3. Okay, fine. So for 6th B students, the syllabus I've already mentioned. Let me mention once again. So second module from maximum likelihood decision function. Okay, from there it starts. Then third module, and 4th module until here. Until here, in the sense, hardly I have done 2 topics. That is nothing but the digital PAM. Okay, digital PM, the block diagram representation and its explanation. Okay, that one, and this derivation for ISI. Okay, so these are the 2 things I have done in this module. So you'll have until here. Okay, so this side, this anybody want me to repeat?
For 17th scheme, ma'am.
For 17th scheme, I'll come there only. For 17th scheme, you have 3rd module complete and 2nd module same from maximum likelihood decision rule. Okay, I'll just show you the notes so that you'll understand. Module 2. Last time the syllabus was until here, right? So mutually exclusive also have given for exam? I don't think so. Okay, I just gave you to find out to show that the correlator outputs are mean. I have asked you to find mean and variance of the correlator outputs. Okay, so until here it is done. From here you have for the syllabus. Otherwise, okay, fine. Let me just tell you from here you have for your syllabus estimation of known signals in AWGN. Okay, from here it goes on maximum decision rule. See, maximum likelihood receiver. Okay, this is the maximum likelihood decision rule. Okay, this entire thing. Okay, so let me just tell you. So your syllabus starts from this month. Estimation of known signals in AWGN. Okay, from here it starts. Okay, so all this, it is nothing but the introduction only. Okay, otherwise the actual thing starts from this maximum likelihood from decision rule. okay, from your maximum likelihood decision rule. So then after this you have the correlation receiver. Correlation receiver, where you'll have the maximum likelihood decoder and the detector. Okay, then comes the mass filter receiver. Here the mass filter receiver. So how you're matching? See here, when we are dealing with the mass filter receiver, we'll assume this to be some constant value. Okay. So some function we will equal it. We will make this equivalent to some other function, and then we have derived the expression. Okay, let me just show you the syllabus first, and then I'll come back here. Okay, then again this output signal to noise ratio. Output signal to noise ratio. Even this is important. Okay, even this is important. So this derivation complete. So until here, until this derivation complete, until here it is there, like this is all your second module. And coming to the third module, complete third module complete. So what are the questions you have? Let me just tell you. Introduction, this entire thing is introduction. Digital modulation. BPSK. It starts with BPSK. Okay, BPSK generation detection, then signal space diagram, then comes the average probability of error, all the problems related to that. Okay, so this is a derivation for probability of error. Okay, then after that you have binary FSK. Binary FSK, again transmitter receiver of binary FSK, and then what is that, signal space diagram of your BFSK. Then comes probability of error of BFSK. Okay, all this. Then comes your QPSK, problems related to that. Problems are also there, don't neglect problems, even problems also have given. Okay. Then comes QPSK, okay, quadrature phase shift keying. Okay, so introduction related to that, then signal space diagram. Okay, and see even how to plot the QPSK signal is also important. Okay, signal space diagram. Now then QPSK probability of error. QPSK transmitter receiver. Then comes your your probability of error. Okay, so probability of error, that derivation as well. MRA PSK. MRA PSK. Here you don't have any probability of error. Okay. Then signal space diagram of MRA PSK is also important. Okay. You don't have any derivation with respect to probability of error for MRA PSK. You don't have any derivation here. Okay, then MRA PSK generation, receiver or detection, both mean the same. Okay, that's what. Then comes here. I have plotted here the 8 PSK signal. Okay, 8 PSK signal. You need to plot it. Okay. Next comes quadrature amplitude modulation, QAM. In QAM, the important questions are, it is related to signal constellation diagram when m is equal to 16 and when m is equal to 4. Okay, both. So I'll just show you. See, for m is equal to 16, this is what the diagram. Okay, this construction is important. Okay, then m is equal to generation and detection, then m is equal to 4 QAM. Okay, even this is important. Okay, then comes non-coherent binary modulation techniques. In this whatever, until here it is just the introduction. Until here it is just the introduction, and from here your generation of BFSK starts. Okay, generation of BSK, here BFSK, it is non-coherent detection. Okay, so you people know very well what is coherent detection and what is non-coherent detection, and so generation will remain same. Generation is nothing but at the transmitter end it will be same, but when it comes to the receiver end, if it is coherent detection, you'll be using same carrier at the receiver. Non-coherent detection, you'll use the masked filter. That is what the difference. When you are attempting the question, make sure that whether they have asked you related to the non-coherent or coherent, that you should be very specific. Okay, just check that question and answer it. Okay, then comes problems related to this. Problem related to this, see, this problem we didn't do, but I've told you, you can just look into the problem because it is just the comparison. Okay, so what is the question? An AFSK system transmit binary data at the rate of 2 into like RB is given. Okay, during the source of transmission AWGN. He has also given PSG. PSG is given as 10 power minus 20. Is added to signal. The amplitude of the received signal wave for digital 1 or 0 is 1 micro ampere. So here he has given the amplitude value is 1 microvolt. Okay, determine the average probability of symbol error assuming non-coherent detection. Okay, so the formulas related to coherent detection and the non-coherent detection, it is different. So you need to find out for the non-coherent detection and see, compare the average probability of error with the coherent BFSK. Okay, coherent, you need to find for coherent also and non-coherent also. The equations are different. So if you just calculate, this is for the non-coherent and this is for the coherent detection. See the formula. This is for the coherent detection formula, and this is, where is it? Root exponential power e power. This is the equation for non-coherent detection. Okay, non-coherent detection average probability of error is this, and for the coherent detection average probability of probability is this one. Okay, so using this we have calculated the probability of error, and using this the probability of error is calculated. Okay, from this too, like we can say that, see, the value here is more when compared to the value here. Okay, so from this I can say that the coherent detection methods are better. Okay, so that is what the problem which is related to this. Okay, then DPSK. Again, DPSK generation and detection is very important. Okay, so you need not explain everything related to BPSK. So BPSK, you need not write or explain anything. Directly you can go with the DPSK transmitter. Okay, so how this DPSK transmitter is working, and then receiver. Receiver is nothing but detection. Okay, here it is non-coherent detection. See, because DPSK is the coherent non-coherent version of BPSK, so it is a non-coherent detection of DPSK. Okay, so you may ask a question, ma'am, how to identify whether it is coherent or non-coherent? See, non-coherent because we are not using any carrier here. Okay, so otherwise for the product modulator we'll give the carrier signal, but here we are not giving any carrier signal. So this indicates it is non-coherent detection. Okay, come back. Still you have one more topic. It is optimal receiver or coherent detection. So as I was mentioning, for the coherent detection you'll be using the carriers. Okay, so the same carrier. See, here I have to give the carrier cos 2 pi FCT is given, and here it is a quadrature receiver. Quadrature. How, ma'am, how we are saying it is quadrature? I've already explained you, but I'm just repeating it once again. So how I'm saying it is cos 2 pi FCT, and this is sin 2 pi FCT. Both are both have 90 degrees phase difference. Okay, so this is said to be the quadrature component, and this is said to be the in phase component. So this is quadrature receiver. Okay, so this is again one more important question. That's what I'm telling you. Again, whenever they ask you the question, optimum is always optimum. Receivers are nothing but your coherent receivers. That you need to keep in mind. Okay, so see the question, understand the question, and then attempt it. Okay, and one more thing, please don't copy. Okay, because maybe everything is getting unlocked now, and maybe they may conduct offline final exams as well for you. Okay, so that time you'll be in trouble. Okay, make sure that you learn everything on your own. Okay, so that's what optimum receiver. If they mention explain DPSK receiver, transmitter and receiver, then you can go ahead with the previous two circuits. This is a receiver circuit and this is a transmitter circuit. You can write these two, but sometimes they'll ask you the question, explain DPSK transmitter and optimum receiver, optimum DPSK receiver, optimum DPSK receiver. Okay, when they ask you optimum or coherent, if you see that word, then you need to go with the coherent detection of DPSK. Okay, hope you people are following, right? That is the last topic. That's it. Then the problem related to that. That's it. Okay. See, actually, no, if you just practice the practice all the derivations, all the equations, you have lot of equations here. Okay, so whenever I'll be teaching one you'll be understanding. When I go with the next one, you'll forget the previous one. That is how it happens here. Okay, not only for you, anybody, this is what will happen. Okay, so make sure that you practice properly. Okay, practicing is very, very important. So again, let me just repeat the important things which are related to your exam. Maximum likelihood decision rule. Okay, maximum likelihood decision rule. Then correlation receiver. Then comes your matched filter. In the matched filter expression also, and at the same time SNR, that also. This all corresponds to your second module. Okay, then comes your third module. BPSK, generation detection, average probability of error, signal constellation diagram, everything related to BPSK. Then BFSK, then QPSK. You try to understand this thoroughly, and when you are reading the other derivations, it will become very, very easy for you. I'm telling you, believe me, really it is very easy. That's why I was specifying, when I was teaching BPSK, I was insisting you people to understand that each and every step, whatever I did there, I was insisting you. Later on, I went little fast because this is a basic one, which if you understand this, the other derivations are similar only. Okay, only thing is the approach and the number of carriers you will be taking will be different. That's it. Okay, otherwise it will be same as your BPSK only. Okay, so when you're preparing also, make sure that you prepare this thoroughly, so that the next when you go to the next it will become very easy for you. Okay, and then comes MRE PSK, then QAM, then QAM, as I mentioned, M is equal to 16 and M is equal to 4. These two signal constellation diagrams are important. Okay, and coming to the next one, non-coherent detection schemes. Non-coherent detection schemes, you have BFSK, non-coherent detection, generation and detection, and then DPSK, transmitter, receiver, and along with this you also have DPSK, optimum receiver, optimum receiver, or optimum detection. Okay, or everything means the same. Okay, coherent detection. Okay, everything means the same. Okay, this is all in your module 3. Okay, I'm coming to the module 4. So for 2015-17, it is only this much. Okay, from maximum likelihood receiver, that derivation to only until this non-coherent detection schemes. Okay, now coming to the module 4. Module 4, hardly you have only 2 topics. Okay, that block diagram representation of digital PAM transmission, and reception. Okay, that block diagram explanation, everything related to that, and then comes the ISI derivation. Okay, so this is all is there for your IA. Okay, that's all for now. That's what it's done for the day, and all the best for your exam. Don't copy, try to write on your own. And one more thing is, whenever you're writing, make sure that you check which scheme question paper you're writing. Okay, make sure that you write 6th B, write 2018 scheme, which will be specified at the top of the question paper. This will be written 2018 scheme, like that it will be written. 2015 scheme, you write 2015 scheme only. 2017 scheme, you write 2017 scheme only. On the top it will be written as 2017 scheme, like this only it will be written, 2015 scheme, 2017 scheme, like that it will be represented. Please make sure that you all write the correct question paper. Okay, because we had the instances where we did it wrongly, so that is the reason I'm just specifying you once again. Okay, so don't be in hurry, don't copy, try to learn everything, and in these 2 days, anytime before night 10 o'clock, anytime you get any doubts, you can call me. You're free to call me, don't worry. I'll definitely help you out. Okay, anybody whoever have doubt, you can call me before 10 o'clock. After 10 o'clock, don't call me. 10 o'clock in the night. Okay, that's all for now. The class is done for the day. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Everybody,
ma'am.
please, yeah, ma, thank you. Please do it well. Okay, and please learn on your own. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. Anytime you get any doubt, you are free to contact me. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. See, don't get tensed. It is so easy only. Only thing is, there are a lot of equations that I do understand. Okay, but it is not that tough. I'm really giving you the bharosa. Like, if you learn one derivation properly, rest all will be equal. Rest all will be easy for you. Okay. Thank you. I have got other class. I'll just leave now. Okay. Thank you.